Listening to everybody before me, which was kind of nice, and being able to see the films was kind of nice, rather than sit down and write a speech and kind of repeat some of the things that everybody else had said. I just wrote some things down, some one-liners, some one-words, and those that have been around Coach Ford, those that have been in the system, either against it or with it, some of these things will have a meaning. I remember one morning I forgot to get up in time and got to the summer practice a little late. So Coach was not, okay, just go ahead and so you can get out there and practice. Practice is over. I said, okay, everybody go. So, you Ayala. It was bleachers. I remember starting to run the bleachers. Coach got on his bike and went home. And I'm running the bleachers and I'm going across and I'm coming down and I kept looking over down the street. Because Coach would walk out of his house, out of the little street, and he'd look at the bleachers and make sure I was still running and he'd go back in. I was never late to a football practice. But I really think that there were times that Mrs. Ford was probably my biggest savior, because I think when he walked back in, she probably said, is he still out there? And he goes, well, yeah. And she goes, oh, I think he's running off. So I've always had a real soft spot for Mrs. Ford, because I know she probably saved my standing word and lungs. Things to remember, the first time we ran out on the field on all red jerseys and red pants. And those silence and stands until we started playing. And once we started playing, it just started to roll, the roar started, and it just continued for the rest of the time that I was away. And it continued on times when I used to come back after I left Lakewood. So when they started talking about the big red machine, it had significance, because we came out that first time in all red, and everybody kind of like looked until we started to play. And once we started to play, there was no more laughing, there was no more joking. That was the big red. And it was a psychological thing, not only for our opponents, but for us as well. Haircuts. It was a badge of honor. It was part of that discipline that we talked about. But it also created a certain sense of pride. No matter where you went in the city, no matter what store you went into, no matter where you went, they knew who you were. They knew we were Lakewood football players. They knew we had standards and we had to answer for the actions that we had. It meant something. You were part of something. It became you. Coach used to tell us, we as an individual, when we're members of this team, any one of us falls down, any one of us does something wrong, and he never mentioned us. He would go, if the coaches is seen out drunk on Thursday night, then all the coaches and the whole team's drunk. And he instilled in us the pride and the honor to know that even though you're an individual, as a member of this team, as a member of this group, that everything we did reflected on everybody else. And so you took it upon yourself. You took that pride, you took that responsibility to be the best that you could, not only on the field, but off the field. Those of you who played, remember going out there and you're being told, we're going to hit them so hard. You're going to hit them so hard, you're going to cause a snot bottle. For those of you who don't know what that is, I mean, you hit somebody so hard that when you hit them, they go, huh, what's that? And there's a snot bottle. Coach was talking here a little while ago about said something that they played a game. We played against Millikan. And that Coach Ford only threw 2 passes. I figured that must have been my junior year, because I think I only threw two whole seasons my junior year. Sitting next to Coach Ford on the bus going to a game. Sitting next to him while watching films. Sitting next to him at his house. We got to get into football. We start talking about football, start watching films, going to a game. And I don't know how many of you got close to him. He would sit there with 4 quarters in his hand. And he could roll those quarters with his thumb and with his forefinger. And I'll go, damn, I still can't do that. And he could hold 4 quarters, and he could roll one from the outside over the top to the inside. And he could do that all the way with the bus rolling and still talking. And half the time I forget what he was saying because I was watching him go over there. Size. Your personal stature and your physical size was never, ever a limitation. You can better it, you can make yourself better, you can make yourself stronger, you can make yourself faster, but it was never a limitation to what you could accomplish. If you were willing to pay the price, if you were willing to work, if you were willing to do what it took to do. And he always had the answer. He always knew what we had to do. And if you were willing to do it, there was nothing you couldn't accomplish. And he instilled that in every player that ever played for him. I know that this room is full of people that know that I know because of him. He showed me, he worked us, he gave us examples, and he led us to successes that none of us would have ever gotten or achieved had we not been instilled with that belief. Be better in the fourth quarter than your opponent. And what did that mean? That means going out in June, July, when everybody was going to the beach, everybody was out there with their girlfriends. So them girlfriends would like trolley car, another one would be by every 15 minutes. Sign me up when you play football. I took that to mean that don't worry about them, they'll be there later, you better go to football practice. But you worked hard when everybody else did. You worked when everybody else didn't work. When you knew that the other guys across town were going to the beach or going to the parties, you knew you were at practice. And sometimes it made you kind of angry, sometimes it made you a little envious. But come Friday night, and it got to the second half, and it got into the fourth quarter, and you were still running hard, and you were knocking them down, and you were running by them, and you were jumping over them, and then they made it all worth it. And then you knew that's why you were doing it when everybody else was doing something else. Lessons of life, discipline. You've heard that probably from everybody that's ever been around coach sport, from the gardener to the caretaker to the people that took tickets to the players, his fellow coaches, fellow administrators. Discipline was key. Discipline was a sacrifice you made to be a part of something that would make you better. Discipline has been something that has carried a lot of people in this room to elevations and to positions and to heights that they would have ever achieved on their own without having learned those lessons in Lakewood High School. Pride in yourself, pride as an individual, pride as a part of being a member of a team. Probably the last thing is a story that's a true story. He took me one day, I was a junior, he was getting ready to put on the big red, and the red offense, the red and white offense, and I was in love. Junior, took me in his little VW bug. We went up to Cal State LA, Homer Williams up there, and football team. We came back and sat in the parking lot. It was about 6 o'clock at night. He said, son, he said, can't be in love. Gotta go to college, gotta play football. Yeah, I know, coach, I'm gonna do it. No, well, I don't hear rumors about you. He says, well, we'll talk about getting married. He said, so he took out his pad, and he took out a piece of paper, he took out a pencil. He said, well, he says, you have to have a place to live. He put a dollar sign on there, and put some amount. He said, I go to school and go to the movies once in a while. He started to put that over on the side. So you're going to have something to eat. You want to go out to eat more than just hot dogs. You're going to take out to dinner one night. Started writing that down. Shoot, by the time he got done, there was this big old total at the bottom of that piece of paper. I said, you're right, Coach. I think I want to go to college and play football. Coach, on a personal note, I've probably been as close to you as anybody. Passing drills. Besides standing on your knee, besides throwing over the hanger frame that we had. Of course, I never got as good as Mike did. Mike had that great arm way up here. I got all the scars on my elbows because the other drill he used to put us on was right next to a wall. I had to have a fall like this. So he put me up next to the wall, before against the wall. Shoot, my junior, senior year in my summers, I had scars on my elbows was scraping against the walls. But I thank you for the things that you've instilled in me as a person. Hopefully I've been able to pass some of those things on to my children and my family. This testimonial here, the people that are here, plus I'm sure hundreds and hundreds of people that would have loved to have been here if they could have been here. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
What a night, and what a great job you people have done putting this all together. And what better situation could it be than to honor John Ford? You know, I feel electricity in this room. I feel like we're in that locker room, and there is that electricity of the Lakewood High School football team. Getting ready to get out, get on that bus, and go play that game. You know, I started at Lakewood when it first opened, and I went through the doldrum years of football. I mean, we lost, and we lost big. And at that time, when it first started, they used to get sportsmanship trophies. Every school in the league at the end of the year voted on the best sportsman in the district and so on in the league. We won so many sportsmanship trophies. And you know, if you're a coach, you don't want sportsmanship trophies. Because folks, I'm going to tell you, you're losing. And we were losing. That's what it boiled down to. And then along came John. And John, you did a great job of turning it around. How great it was, and how many great memories there are in this room for all of the situations that occurred in football with you as the head coach. It was tremendous. Let's reminisce this a little, can we, John? And I'm gonna bring out some things that a lot of you people never experienced, because you're not with the team. You go to the game, and you see what happens at the game. But you know, there are a lot of things that happen you don't know about in practice. And they're great things, unless somebody tells you about it. First of all, the one remembrance I'm going to just throw out, the first great game, naturally, was the 33-28 victory over Wilson High School in 1966. Between two screen passes to Jimmy, I think it was a Brad Ginder or Steve Ginder. 1980 screen to the strong team. And middle screen to Jimmy. That was a great game. And Crutch intercepted the ball on the 8-yard line with seconds to go. And we were off and running. You started it before that, Coach, because the year before the team wasn't too bad. Missed out by 24-7 to Wilson. Okay? Along came, by 1967. All we had to do was win the last game of the year, Coach. Remember against Wilson? And we'd have had a tie for championship. We had the ball going out on about the 3-yard line, I forget exactly, at the north end of the stadium. Ken Gillies fumbled, Wilson recovered, scored, ended up 20-20. By virtue of that, we ended up in third place, 3-1-1, and Wilson and Millikan were up there at the top. And you know, the funny thing about that is in 1972, we were playing Wilson, and the score was 6-3. We were ahead with seconds to go, and Wilson was going in on the 1-yard line at the north end of the stadium, Coach, in the Mud Bowl. Remember that? And they fumbled the snap into the end zone, and Billy Goodwin recovered for a touchback, and we win the game. I'm going to tell you what, those two fumbles were within 5 yards of each other at the same area of the stadium. against the same team. We ended up going to CIF in 72. We missed it in 67. 1969. A lot of tears here. A lot of tears here. Things that you probably have no idea about. I remember Don Thomas being Steve Darien in the Millikan Prep Week. And running like you couldn't believe it. And prepared us for that game. He didn't get to play in the game. You remember that game? Don Thomas, he dressed up in the Millikan uniform. Dick, I don't know where we got it, but I think maybe Kirk or somebody got it for us where we are. You remember 709? You 69 football players, you remember 709? That was ready room right after school. Pitch black. Folks, there'd be 39 football players, 4 coaches, and a manager would walk out of there and there would be a dry eye for the things that were said in preparation for the game. These are things that a lot of you folks don't realize happen. And these are great memories. And I'm going to tell you what, we lost to Blair, as you well know. You all saw the game. I'm going to tell you the greatest thing about the Blair game as far as I'm concerned. Blair scored with 35 seconds left to go and went ahead 24-19, which was the final score. But you know the greatest thing to me from that game? They went for 2 points with their best running back in CIF, and we didn't quit. We stopped them. If you'll recall that, they went for 2 points with 35 seconds to go, and there was no quit. You know, Lakewood, John Ford coached me. Coach, you instilled this thing. I remember in practice, John, you remember this, we had Jerry Cassian Smith step into the huddle in practice one day, and he called 2-high 34 pass. Am I right, Jerry? Jerry stepped into that huddle, called that play, came out to the line of scrimmage, and you folks that know Jerry, his eyes were like this. And he's looking over, and there's a defense over there. And Jerry called the signals, and he came back, and he made the play-action pass, and completed the pass. Those are things that we all need. They're great memories when you stop and think about them, folks. They'll go for the rest of your life, and there's nothing wrong with memories. You don't have to rely on them. And they don't have to be a necessity, but they're beautiful things in your life. Because they are the true things. They are the true things. Coach Ford, we spent quite a few hours together. And they were pleasant hours. And I'm going to tell you folks, there are coaches in this world. There are all kinds of coaches. And there are coaches that are assistant coaches. And there are brilliant assistant coaches. They have a niche there. And there are people that are head coaches. And there is a difference between a head coach and an assistant coach. Some people are born to be head coaches. Some people are not. Some people are born to be assistant coaches, and some people are not. To be a head coach, you have to be a person that commands respect, lives the life, leads, sets examples, works, accepts responsibility, will meet the press, take the bad with the good, do all of those things. The assistant coach doesn't have to do that. He can go home after the game, the coach has to talk to the reporters, and the coach has to take all the flack from the quarterback club, not the assistant coach. It takes a special person to be a head coach. Some people are born to be head coaches, and some are not. And John Ford, I'm going to tell you what. You were born to be a head coach. And I want to thank you for the period of time we had together, and the times of argument, the times of happiness, the times of crime, the times of elation. All of those things happen. And I want to thank you, and I want to thank your number one assistant, Mrs. Burnford. Thank both of you so much.
As I look around this room, I'm really sad, but at the same time, I'm very happy for the number of people who came out tonight. Coach Ford is a very special individual, as you've heard from a lot of people. And when I look at his career, and I got to look at it for a long time because I was there in the beginning, is looking at Coach Ford's career, it's like the story about the three blind men trying to describe the elephant. The one grabs the tail, one grabs the leg, and the other one grabs an ear. And everybody's perspective is different. But I look to my right over here, some of the guys that I got an opportunity to play with, and it brings back some real special memories. We used to have some great arguments in our house, which was the best team. And you could probably debate that one for years. Unfortunately, I probably can't say that I played on one of the best teams, but like I tell my brothers, you might have inherited it, but we built it. I remember going out my first varsity game as a junior. Lakewood High School had not won a football game in 2 years. We traveled out to play Ramona High School in Riverside, Coach. And Coach liked me a whole lot. So what he did is he let me cover man-to-man the guy who had been an all-CIF receiver the year before my first varsity football game. I'll tell you, I'll never forget the feeling in the locker room before the game. Obviously, we were not the most confident team, and yet we believed in Coach Ford. He came to Lakewood High School, and he asked us all for a little bit of heck. I didn't know what heck was, but I found out after a while. I haven't always been a slow learner. Okay? And we're very fortunate in those years, those early years, to begin to understand what he wanted to teach us. And I'll tell you what, my senior year we came real close. And we had some great players, and I'll tell you, I would have given anything to play for Coach Ford for 3 years. We had our group of seniors go through for 3 years under Coach Ford, because I'll tell you what, I think we would have been the surprise team that year. But it's truly a tribute to what the man has accomplished, the inspiration that it's been to individuals, and all of us can come up here and we could all say words and we'd all be true, but nothing that we can say, nothing we can do can come close to what we feel for Coach Ford. And Coach, I love you dearly, and thank you for helping me and my son last summer. I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to be in the same line of work as Coach Ford, and I respect him so much. I'm the quarterback coach at our school, and I brought my son to Coach Ford. So thank all of you so much for being here, because I can't think of anybody more deserving that has touched more individuals in such a pure, honest way and in a selfless way. And it's really wonderful to be here, and it's really wonderful to see all of you here.
Actually, there's been a little confusion about my speaking tonight. I didn't know it was a testimonial. I thought I was being asked to testify against John. They asked me to say a few nice things, and after 2 sleepless nights, I decided, as you know, we've had a lot of telegrams come in, and I decided to read a few of these telegrams. What do we have here anyway? Oh, I divided them into good ones, positive, and negative. This is a list of the negative telegrams. I have the positive telegrams here. They're all lies. If you look closely, you'll notice that they're blank also. Well, some of the telegrams, We have one from Ross Perot, presidential candidate for the state of Texas. John, congratulations on your testimonial dinner. We in Texas were really sorry when you decided to move to California. However, in moving there, you raised the IQ of both states. Here's one from a local educator. John, congratulations. It was always a pleasure to give you and your football program all the support and dedication deserved. Helen Hampson. This is from the Cage Man at Lakewood High School.
Cage Man.
Congratulations, John, for your testimonial dinner. By the way, Coach, you still have those 2 towels I gave you in 1966? This is from a former Lakewood quarterback. It reads, Coach, hell just froze over. Should we run the ball? This one just came in from the Lakewood Barbers Association. Coach Ford, we the Barbers of Lakewood would like to thank you for your high grooming standards in your football program. They enabled us to retire early and buy a vacation home in the Bahamas. This is from a group of the other Moore League coaches. Coach Ford, we want to thank you for enabling us to spend Thanksgiving Day with our families each year. Get in some early Christmas shopping. Those of you who have gone on to school, you notice that your alma mater will send you letters from time to time requesting donation when they're building a new hall. Hart & Simmons was sending these to John all the time. Finally, he got fed up and he marked deceased on the envelope and sent it back. And this is a telegram to Fernford. It says, Mrs. Ford, we are sorry to hear about Coach Ford's recent demise. By the way, did he leave anything to the university? And this is from the California Poetry Association. Congratulations, Coach Ford. We want to express our gratitude for the motivation that led to much poetry being written while you were at Lakewood High School. One of those poems, 1967, as you recall, Lakewood had a very good team. They were rated second. Yeah, live it up now. They were rated second in the CIF and third in the state, and things of this nature. Well, we met, I was in Millikan at the time, having done an illustrious job in Jordan the previous year. 49-0, I recall, and John kicked a field goal. And so I was a little ticked off. I have something here, by the way, for John. Referred to. Nose Picker of the Week. Those of you that are close, you can see Nose Picker of the Week, Coach King. Down on the bottom, I've written, lest I forget. Well, anyway, in 1967, we met in the Vet Stadium. It was a good game, back and forth, but we won. We beat Lakewood. I was inspired. I drew a big tombstone, and I wrote a little epitaph underneath. Some of you are familiar with this, I'm sure. It read, here lies Big Red, looking so serene, with lumps upon his head. You join in. He doesn't seem so mean. The V gone from his hand, his mouth without a word. We made him understand he was not first, but third. And this was swiped off our bullet board and taken back to Lakewood, and Coach Ford thought this was a great idea. He had little poems made up, and the kids weren't carried around with wallets all year. Each time they had a meeting, they would read this poem, and they were all fired up, and they beat the living out of us for 5 years straight. Finally, in 1973, we had a good team. We thought we might luck out and win, and we did. And we had a poem ready for him. And this is the original. As you can see, it's a big red rocket laying on the ground, broken, smoking. And it says, "Here lies Big Red, like a burnout rocket. He'll have to spend another year with a poem in his pocket." But, you know, actually now that I've come to know Coach Ford a little better, I realize that he's just a regular guy like the rest of us. No, he can't walk on water. He just knows where the rocks are. He's like the rest of us old coaches. Why, just the other day I saw him and Fern Ford in the local drugstore. John stepped right up there and he says, "I want some of that Viagra." And Fern stepped up right behind him. She says, "I want a can of Mace." He is getting old. He's so old he actually doesn't need Viagra. He says that everything's stiff in the morning. Nowadays the gleam in his eye is the sun bouncing off his bifocals. Actually, he is old, but I had the pleasure of dining this evening with his dentist, and his dentist says that John has his own teeth. He actually made the last payment Wednesday on it. He forgets to remember what he forgot to think about, probably Alzheimer's. Says he doesn't mind Alzheimer's too much, and new friends every day. He can also hide his own Easter egg. Seriously. And, I would like to commend all of you for honoring your fine coach tonight. He's certainly a deserving individual. I can't think of any individual who's done more for the city of Lakewood and more league football than Coach John Ford. I'm certainly proud and happy to call him as a friend. Thank you.
That's a good story about that, right? They always get on me about that. But anyway, to start off with, Coach, when I was at Lakewood, I think out of all the guys, I think you remember this, I was the last guy to cut my hair, and now you know why. But I saw those bleachers on the screen there, and I guess now you know, after all these years, why I went out for basketball. Anything to get out of those bleachers. But anyway, I almost didn't play football at Lakewood High School. Ray Coliner, my Pop Warner coach, is here. I saw him earlier. I hope he's still here. But if he remembers this story, I went out for Pop Warner. There were 60 players and only 40 uniforms. And so he decided that he was going to run our butts off, and run our butts off, and run our butts off. And I thought, geez, you know, basketball is a lot easier game than football. And then we had this drill. He gave us the ball, got us about 20 yards apart, and one guy tackled the other guy head on. Well, who do I run up against but Larry Martinez? Now, anybody that knows Larry Martinez, he may not be the tallest guy in the world, and you cannot get below it. And he had played Pop Warner about 9 years, and he knocked the living out of me about 5 times in a row. And my dad, John Ray, decided that he was going to buy me a helmet that I was going to grow into, that didn't quite fit. So I don't know if any of you guys play football where you spend half your day looking out the ear hole. And Larry, I'll never forget that. I tell you what, I just about gave it up. But lo and behold, I decided to stick it out because Coach Ford walked out there with Pop Warner practice and said, "Son, you're going to play football." He said, "You're going to play with me." And so as the years went on, played for Coach Gillies and beat football. And then when I got to varsity, obviously things were good for me. And Coach used to, take me out and we'd have our little special talks. And I'll never forget, Coach took me out one time and he said, "Mike," he says, "you're gonna finish the career at Lakewood, you're going to go on and have a great college career, and you're going to play pro football. And I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and I'm going, all I'm worried about is my pimples. So I want to go out and play pro football. But as it turned out, I went to SC, had a good career, and Coach Ford directed me to USC, and we won a national championship, and it was great for me. And I was lucky enough to get drafted and play pro football. And one of the things I remember, I went to 11 training camps, and one of the things I'm personally most proud of is that out of 11 training camps, I always managed to make the football team. They always brought in bigger guys, stronger guys, guys with better arms, better athletes. And I always looked around and I said, why am I still here? Why am I still playing pro football? Why do I make it every year? And I go right back to Coach John Ford, of course, to my father, and I say all the things that I was taught at Lakewood High School, and all the things I learned, how to compete, how to win, how to lead, how to live a good life, and all the things that some people laugh at. And when I talk to my friends, I always bring up Lakewood High School. And they always say, why do you always bring up Lakewood High School? Why do you always talk about Lakewood High School? I went to high school, I played football, we had a football team. I said, because unless you were on the team, unless you went through it, unless you could see how special it was, and how special it was to me. And they couldn't understand it because I was constantly talking about it. And it really meant a lot to me, it meant a lot to my career, and I owe most of my success as a football player to the Lakewood system and to Coach John Ford and Coach like I say. Thank you.
Real privilege to be here on an evening where we honor and pay tribute to Coach John Ford. I've been to a few of these functions where you pay tribute to one of your rivals. This is the first time there's been a cheer for beating Millikan right along with the invocation. Then, I've got to sit there and eat my salad while I'm listening to the Lakewood fight song. That's going a little far. My heart started pumping. I wanted to go play again. I looked around the room. The only Millikan guy I see is Denny Moulton, and I look around, I see a room full of Martinez's, and I don't want to play anymore. And then to top it off, I've got to stand for the Lakewood alma mater. Anyway, John, I'm happy to be here. Coach Ford put Moore League football on the map and made it a league to be reckoned with in the CIF. He made us, his rivals, better coaches because if we were going to compete, we had to be willing to put in the time and the work that was going on at Lakewood High School. At the same time, you knew that when you were going to play Lakewood, they were going to be extremely well prepared, and Coach Gillies and Coach Ford were going to have them ready to play, and you better strap your chin strap because they were going to come at you. We spent quite a few years, John, on opposite sides of that stadium, and we did a lot of battles. And sorry to say, I think Millikan was the team that came out with the bumps and bruises and most of the battle scars. But we had a great rivalry, and it was a healthy rivalry. And I think it was a great thing for football at that time. John was an exceptional quarterback at Hardin Simmons and a master of the passing game. I remember one game where, well, it wasn't unusual for John to put the ball in the air 30 times a game. For us, that's a season record. For John, it was just a normal Friday night. But I remember one game, we had a real tussle, back and forth. At the end of the ball game, Lakewood won. John put the ball in the air 2 times. I would have loved to have been at his booster club meeting and had John try and explain why the ball was only in the air 2 times and why he ran such a boring, boring offense. Taking the field against Lakewood was always an experience. We'd come out on the field. Lakewood was already there all the time. And their uniforms were always dirty. I think they'd been out there for hours having a practice just so they would be one up on Millikan High School before the game even started. They got one extra practice in. We'd come out on the field, we'd go at our end, we'd start going through our normal pre-game activities, our stretch, our warm-up. Down the other end would come a few sounds. You know, by the way, the Rams, Millikan is known as the Rams. Sometimes the sheep. At Lakewood, I think we were known as the baby ewes. But from the other end of the field, while we're doing our stretch, 45 minutes before the game starts, from the other end of the field comes a few bah, bah, and that would echo off the stadium. And that was only John and Coach Gillies. By the time the rest of the team joined in, neighbors 3 blocks away were wondering what was going on. I remember shortly after I took over the program at Millikan, we had all the head coaches and their wives over to our house for a dinner before the season started. I wanted the wives to get to know each other. I wanted the head coaches to get to know other people's wives so that we really weren't bad guys, we were human beings, we weren't monsters. We had a lot of camaraderie, great night, great night. Next year, John and Fern did the same thing. We all went to John's house. All he wanted to do was talk football. I wanted to spend some quality time with my wife. All John wanted to do was talk football. He would talk shop for hours, and the worst part about it, there was no beer in John's house. The most boring evening I've ever spent. Now, I always thought John was a good guy. But midway in John's career, we had a chance to scout Lakewood 3 or 4 times during the year because they were either playing on Thursday or Saturday or we had the same type of schedule. But anyway, we got to personally scout him and to sit up in the stands. I was set straight by parents in the stands of really what type of guy John was. I've never heard one individual called so many names in all my life. And when I looked around, Fern was in the middle of them. She was egging him on. Oh, the life of a head coach, huh, John? We wouldn't trade for a minute. Well, anyway, when John left, he made a lot of us happy. Because that gave us a little better shot of maybe getting one more victory. We're sad to see John go, but on the other hand, we had a little better shot at finally maybe beating a Lakewood team. John, my friend, I salute you for a great career at Lakewood and the positive influence you had on thousands of kids at Lakewood High School. Thank you, John.
Okay, on behalf of the city of Lakewood, I'm sure that Wayne Pierce and myself would echo the words of all the speakers that were said this evening. We know, John, that you did put the city of Lakewood on the map. We appreciate that. And what I got for you from my colleague on the city council and the good citizens of Lakewood is a proclamation. And I got 6 proclamations, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not going to attempt to read any of them, but why don't I tell you, they all say basically the same thing. That John's the wonderful person that he is. You heard the things that he stood for. And this proclamation is from the city of Lakewood, John, and we appreciate the things that you've done for the city of Lakewood. Thank you very much. Also, John, I bring you a proclamation from Senator Betty Carnett. Also, John, from the Board of Supervisors, signed by all 5 Board of Supervisors, first time they've agreed on anything since I've been here. County of Los Angeles. Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition to John Ford, signed Congressman Ed Royce. I have another one from another congressman, Congressman Steve Horn. And last but not least, Assemblywoman Sally Harris. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think we are ready for our very special clip. Ladies and gentlemen, from the longest yard, Richard Kiel.
Stand up next to Coach. Stand up there, Coach.
First time I swore in a movie, we had to watch it tonight.
To Coach Ford.
You gotta get over here a little bit closer, Coach. We're here to honor you tonight. And the thing that most of you don't know is that his arms are actually longer than mine. Look at this. But like all of you, I'm here tonight to honor Coach John Ford, a man of great character and quality, and that's why we're all here tonight. And I also have a very important announcement to make. The school board and the city of Lakewood have agreed to name the stadium in your honor.
Thank you very much. I can hardly believe all this, that this doesn't seem possible for a country guy from Texas like me. I thank all of you so much, and starting with the Willies, Ron and Ray, and I know they kind of held the whole program, but they had a lot of help from the rescue people, and they really done a great job. And it's been so nice to see so many former players and coaches and administrators, and I can't say too much along that line. It's really been great. You know, I don't want to make a long speech because we're running really late, but I got to Lakewood at just the right time. Lakewood was growing as a city. The school was about 6 years old, and we had all the kids went to school, the elementary schools in Lakewood. All of them went to the junior highs in Lakewood, and then all of them came to high school in Lakewood. We had 4,000 kids, and that was one of the main things because we were together. We had a community, and we could work together. And Mr. Knudson and the faculty, they did a great job, and they backed us. We had a great coaching staff. They talked about the coaches here tonight, and we had some really great coaches. I was very fortunate to have those guys, I tell you. But we had some great football players and some guys that were really sacrificed. And a couple here tonight that I don't know if they sacrificed or not. I brought those kickers, Ayala and Cold Iron. I need to see you. I haven't seen any haircuts like that. Anyway, you notice I've got a very short one in the middle especially. And Miss Ward insists I keep those sides a little longer there, but I'm trying to keep it short. But at any rate, I really appreciate the sacrifices that all these guys made. They really had to work hard, and I really stayed after them. And these coaches and all these guys that talk to you, they let you know just about how the program was. But it paid off for us. I think we had great teams. We had people that worked together like a family. We all stuck together, and everybody gave their best. And that's why we were able to win some football games in those 17 years. But it was the best part of my coaching career was at Lakewood High School. I never went to work a day. It just was not work. It was just fun. I enjoyed every minute of it. And you guys made it that. I tell you, the players that are here, the coaches, and I thank you so much. I enjoyed my work there more than any other place, and we had more success. But I know that it takes everybody to win. I was a head guy, but Coach Gillies, he just as important as I was, and all the rest of those guys, Woolbright, Stevenson, Alexander, all the rest of them. I don't call all their names, but they were guys that were doing the same thing I was doing. And so it took all of us, but we did hit it at the right time, and we had great backing from the community, had a great quarterback club, and meet every Monday night when you have a couple hundred people, and they all know Coach Ford, why don't you do this, or why don't you do that? And that was all right. That's what we were there for. And I thank all of you so much, and this is the greatest tribute that I've ever had. I've been fortunate along the way. I was an all-conference quarterback for 3 years at Hardin-Simmons University. I played the North-South Shrine game, and I was an outstanding player. I coached the 605 game. I coached the Shrine game in 1966. I've had a lot of real nice things happen to me, but this tradition is the greatest thing. And I'll always remember it, and it means so much. I just can't tell you how much it means. And thank you very much. I want to introduce to you my family. They are here. Mrs. Ford, I'd like to have her stand. And incidentally, she's the one that called the touchdown plays. She called the touchdown. Okay, and like she told you, she and I did a lot of coaching at home. I have two sons here, T. Ford, his wife Betty. Casey, he's a big man. Get up, Kirk. Another son, Dale. Your other daughter, Jasmine. Oh yeah, I did too. I missed the guy this guy's 8 years younger than me, and he's in the, one other thing I didn't tell you, I don't like to brag. they put me in the Hall of Fame about 10 or 15 years ago. But then my brother, he's 8 years younger than me, and he was a great quarterback, and he played a little pro ball, and he played at Hardin-Simmons, and he was put in the Hall of Fame at Hardin-Simmons too. Kenneth Ford, my brother. You see, he's a big old guy, and he coached for a while, and then he became an administrator, and he retired out as a principal. He was smarter than I was because he makes more money than I do. You know, the principal makes a lot of money. Anyway, he came out. Sir? I'm afraid you got too many stories, kid. Okay. I want to thank you again for all being here, and it's a great thing that happened to me. I think it's the greatest thing in sports that's happened to me, and I love you all, and I thank you, and I'm so happy for the progress and everything that you've done in your life. Thank you.
We can just have a seat for just a minute more. We have a couple things we wanted to give the Fords. John Wilkins, a jeweler in the Seal Beach area, made a beautiful little necklace for Fern, and we wanted to give Fern this from him. And he said it for all of us, but really he's the one that did all the work, and wanted to give you that. And we have another little plaque, and then we're going to have some cake. And I wanted to say, I know it's very late, and what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and let you mingle around, and if you need to leave, you can leave. If you want to stay and eat cake, we'll play a little background music, but that'll allow us, we have the room for a while, so if you want to use the restroom, come back and just mingle around freely. That's what we'll do after this last presentation.
Could I have all the Coach Ford players please stand from all the years? Coach, we have an award for you. And you read what it says. This is for all the guys that are standing here. It says, to a great coach, we came to you as young teenage boys, thinking we were all men, eager to learn many a gridiron skill to practice again and again. You taught us how to block and tackle, formations and patterns to run. We dug deep inside when the going got tough. With teamwork, the game was won. We are gathered here many years later, having come of our own accord, bringing kind thoughts and great memories in tribute to you, Coach Ford. Much honor and glory is yours this day for values you taught us back then, for who you are and the commitment you made to helping us boys become men.